Very good. Well, ladies, good to meet you. Your first time on Central Valley Talk, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So, okay, I want to start obviously from the very beginning for our viewers that maybe don't know much about Hanford Christian School, and they now are hoping to learn more. So, whoever wants to take that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanford Christian School was founded back in 1944 by the Christian Reformed Church of Hanford, and we have serviced the area for those past now 78 years. We are a preschool through 8th grade. So we have a 3-year-old, 4-year-old TK program, and then kindergarten through 8th grade.
Very good. And you guys are located kind of on the outskirts of Hanford. Is that right?
Yeah, we're sort of in a quaint little area, just nestled up against the foothills almost. I mean, we could see the mountains from our playgrounds, and we're surrounded by our local ag. So we're just on the outskirts in a nice little, corner area. It's very quaint.
So, okay, talk a little bit about, as the principal, leading this team, leading your students. What's everything you offer, in a nutshell? I know. I mean, that's a loaded question.
I know. There's a lot. Other than just a very academically challenging curriculum that we have, it's all Christ-centered. We have a lot of extras that our students get. They have music and band, or I should say choir and band, art, computer, PE, Spanish, library, physical fitness class. So they have a lot of different electives that they're also allowed to use. But the biggest thing is it's all Christ-centered. Yep.
So as far as working with the younger kiddos, talk a little bit about your experience thus far. 4 years in now, right?
Yeah. So I get the benefit of taking on our youngest Hanford Christian warriors. So, which is often their first step into a private education experience, right? So, our preschool program welcomes all sorts of families. We have an educational program that's Christ-centered, but also has daycare hours to accommodate working families. We have a large military community. So in that sense, we get to pull a lot of people from the community onto our Hanford Christian experience and watch them age all the way up into 8th grade. So we like to see them start there and build those bridges into K through 8 so they have a successful transition, but also become part of this, Christ-driven community, just really family-centered community. And so preschool department has seen a big growth lately. And so we've expanded preschool program as much as we can, and now we're moving up to expand our K through 8 programs to welcome all of those families that are aging up.
So if I can just jump in on that, Jamie's
Sure.
been with us now for 4 years. And when she started the program, we probably had 34 preschoolers, and now we have 90. So she has definitely grown the program, which has in turn really seen an increase in the K through 8. So it has more than doubled over the last 7 years at the K through 8 campus.
Tell me a little bit about working with the families and the parents, and how close that connection is.
Well, I have to say, I sit here and smile when you say that, because that's one of the benefits of being at Hanford Christian, the families. Our families are incredible. We really take on the responsibility of we are raising these kids. It's not just the parents' responsibility. We come alongside of our parents. And I have to say, we have some of the best parents around.
I will say that when I joined Hanford Christian as having a preschool background and preschool administration, it was my first entrance onto a K through 8 private school program. And coming from where my own children attended public schools, so I could sort of see the difference in what was offered. And one of the things that was striking to me was that sense of community that the families brought on, but it's also tied in with the administration. So we often see families do family events. We have family fun nights and activities where all of the families are on campus with chapel and things that encourage that sense of community that's often lacking in a lot of educational programs today, particularly public schools. So that for me is a striking difference being on a Christ-driven, community-oriented, family-oriented
Mm-hmm.
campus. It's been really nice to watch how they integrate the families into the program and collaborate with them, and they're part of the systems there.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the beauties of Hanford Christian also, that the families can have an active participation on our campus. And we welcome that.
Tell me a little bit about the if you could kind of walk us through the process of registration and
Sure.
how that works.
So I'm going to let Jamie start, because registration for preschool is a little bit different than it is for K through 8.
Okay.
Registration for preschool right now, we have several enrollment rounds to accommodate our families so that we can give precedence or priority to our current Hanford Christian families, moving all the way up to waitlist enrollment. So there's several rounds of enrollment. If you're interested, the best is just to give us a call.
Okay.
Give us a call, see if we can get you on a wait list and see if we can get you in the program, because we do run a full program and we have kids waitlisted to get in for quite some time. So we do our best to get as many in as we can, but we currently don't have room to grow anywhere else. So yeah, give us a call if you're interested. I'd love to have that conversation with you about registration and enrollment, and we can go from there. But
the time, I would imagine, if you're looking at next year, is now.
Now, we are already enrolling. I opened up our first round of enrollment Monday at 8:30 a.m. and by 8:45, one of my classes was almost full.
Whoa.
So yeah, our enrollment goes pretty quickly. So the best thing you can do when you're planning is just give us a call. Let me get you on a wait list, and do that early. Do it as soon as the child is 2. So it gives me a year to plan and get you on the wait list for when they turn 3 and they can start the program with us.
Okay. And then for the older kiddos.
So it's a little bit different for us. So the process is, when people call, I always like to say, let me give you a tour. Let me give you a tour, and so you can see what we have to offer, because I feel like once I can get a family on our campus, they can see our classrooms, they can see the students, they can see the interaction. I know they're going to fall in love with what they see. The difference between us is that in order to apply for the K through 8th program, we require that all of our families also have a church family as well. We are a private Christian school, but we are a Christian school that we come alongside of our parents, and we don't only want to be teaching them about God in school. We want that to be the focus of their home life as well. So that's a qualification that the parents have to have. They have to have a church family as well. But it's an easy application process. So you fill out the application, we do an interview process, and then they're good to go.
Okay, very good. Let's talk a little bit about anything new that you guys are working on here in 2022 as we've just started this new year, and then even looking ahead to next year.
So that's kind of the exciting part about on campus. Before COVID hit, we had talked about expanding our campus because we saw that there was growth. We had talked about it. COVID hit, which kind of put an abrupt stop to everything because nobody knew what was going to be going on. Second year, or the first year, we received the waiver. We were the first school in the San Joaquin Valley to get the waiver to open our doors. And so we got back on board again with, okay, let's expand our campus. So we are right now in the process of building 8 new classrooms on our campus. We still want to be considered a small country school. So our goal is just to be 2 classes per grade. We're quickly getting there. We have 2 Ks next year, 2 first, 2 fourth. And that's something Hanford Christian has not seen ever. Yeah, so it's super exciting. It's fun to see the buildings going up. And
also, the preschoolers are digging watching all the equipment every day. I'm not going to lie. I mean, those big trucks moving through all day long.
They're
those
all
preschoolers
super
are,
stoked every day. They're like, yeah.
It's a whole science thing happening right in front of them.
Yeah,
they're loving it.
Tell us a little bit about why it's important for not only your students to come into school and bring religion alongside, how important that is for the students in their life moving forward, and then also what it does for their parents even. I know that's kind of a 2-in-1 question, but
I'll tell you just a quick story first. Jamie had a preschooler student who the child decided to go into kindergarten to the public school. First grade, I think the mom called us back and she said, how do I get back to your school? She said, all my son talked about and sang were Bible songs or dress up day at school. He wanted to go book character, wanted to go as Jesus. And he was mortified that nobody knew that he was Jesus dressed up. And she said, my little guy just brought me back to my faith and I need him to be back in your school. So that's that. I mean, you can continue answering that, but that was just one of those really precious stories.
So, and it was because of this little guy, I made it a goal in preschool department to get a Bible into the hand of every preschooler. And instead of us just reading the Bible to them, they engage in their own Bible too. They learn how to utilize it, find the stories and follow along with the teacher, refer to it when they're upset about something at school, refer to it. And so we're giving them the social emotional coping skills and things of that sort. So that was the purpose in the Bible program. But then it became a bigger thing when we realized that these little preschoolers were prayer warriors in their own homes. And so we started to see that carry over into the households. And so preschool sort of is bridging that gap where we don't have a requirement yet for families to have a church family, but we are a church, believing school. We are Christ-driven school. We teach those lessons in our daily activities, and we empower the kids. And we're seeing that bleed into their families, and families now, are getting ministered to through our little Hanford Christian Warriors.
So if I can add to that, your question about, why is this important with Christ in home and so forth. Our mission statement at Hanford Christian is to educate, equip, and inspire every student to serve the world for Christ. And by giving them this solid foundation that we hope they continue when they go into the high school years, many of our students go to Central Valley Christian as well. We're just giving them that solid foundation that they're going to need because they're going to be faced with a lot of challenges in their life, and they need to have that word to stand on.
Final words or suggestions for our viewers?
Call us.
There you
Come
go.
on board. Call us. Give us a call. You can find us on our Instagrams, our Facebooks. We're very up to speed on the social media front. We have a great marketing director, and also we'd love to show you the campus.
Yeah,
Come on down. Give us a
we're in the process of doing enrolling right now, and I think space is going to be limited. So 584-9207.
Very good. Ladies, good to meet you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
All right. I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with one more guest here on the podcast.